Okay, this is a short presentation by Joe Thompson of venturacottage.com on how to further enhance Drupal, specifically the way Drupal shows information. Drupal as a content management system is brilliant as far as being able to organize and control your information, but I sometimes feel that the standard themes that come with it slightly let it down as far as the visual side of it goes. First thing I did was take a standard garland theme and actually work on a drop-down navigation at the top as opposed to the standard one. So as you can see, hovering over a particular section shows the subsections, and clicking on any of the subsections would take us directly to that. So I feel that that is a welcome improvement. Now, as you can see, the standard page layout for the front page is here, where it's just taken teasers for the various latest pages and actually done them as a long list. This could be better, so what I've actually done as a starting point is actually come up with a different front page, and this is it. What it does, it works on the basis of a 3x3 grid, square grid, which gives us 9 squares into which you can put really whatever you want. I've chosen to put in 3 categories. So we've got, at the bottom here, you've got a category called fruit, and this is the latest stories that have been added to do with fruit. Now you've got oranges and strawberries. That's done using taxonomy. There is a high level category called fruit, which also has subcategories in it, blackberries, oranges, etc. And just by the user, the webmaster, tagging a story oranges or strawberries, it knows then to summarize it within fruit. Likewise, we've got entertainment here, and that also has subsections in it. What you've also got is down the bottom right hand corner, you've got a large picture, so you can choose to have a story that is featured on the front page. So that's the standard setup. What I've also done is created, using Photoshop, the backgrounds for each of the squares are semi-transparent, so you therefore see the background through it. So if you've got an interesting picture at the background of your theme, you don't need to adapt the squares to be able to see it. So having done that as a basis for Garland, I then took it a stage further and created a custom theme. Once again, it uses Garland as the starting point, but has a different look as far as the back is concerned. And also, as you can see, we've actually turned the squares, the 9 squares, into quite an interesting different sections, almost like a checkerboard. So as an example of how it actually works, if we look at, for instance, the stories here, so we've got one, Firework Night Goes Well. So if we click on that, you can see we've got a typical story here from that has been entered into the Drupal website with a picture on it. Now, if for instance this didn't have a picture on it, so we'll turn the picture off. This is using image and image cache. So now if we go back to the home page, you'll see we've still got the story Firework Night Goes Well, but what it's actually done here, it's actually put a generic category picture to do with just personal or whatever. So for instance, if we went to fruit, for instance, and turn that picture off, strawberry and apple crisp pudding with cream. So once again, we come down to image and image cache, delete the story, and you can see we've got a generic fruit picture there now. So even if the webmaster doesn't have a picture to go with their particular article, and it is the latest article, it will appear at the top of the list. It will be in bold, and it will be larger than second, third and fourth stories that are summarized on the front page, but it will put the generic fruit picture there. Now if we go back to Firework, for instance, what we're going to do now is we want to be able to feature the firework article specifically down the bottom right hand corner here. Now this is done once again using taxonomy. But then what we do is we also link it to front feature, which is the large picture on the front. So we now go submit. This uses views to actually create most of what is on the front page. And you can see now we've got the firework picture. It's got a semi-transparent background to the title, Firework Night Goes Well. So this is something that means that the webmaster can control this, or the client, without any extra coding. And we can also see that it's disappeared from the personal section, because if a story is a feature story, it disappears from the personal list rather than duplicated. Now this front page doesn't interfere with the standard theme at all. All it is two extra files which you put at the root of your theme, one called frontpage.tpl.php and one frontpage.css. These are standard within Drupal, and if the theme actually finds these two pages, it actually chooses to show the front page in a different way. Likewise, if you renamed or deleted these two pages, then it would go back to the standard Drupal garland theme. So what we've now got to look at is the other boxes. The other sections, so you've got who's online, upcoming events and recent comments. What we've done there is actually created code that what we'll now look at is the other blocks. So for instance, all these sections can contain either views or blocks. Now for instance, the who's online blocks that we've got there and recent comments. So if we focus particularly on the recent comments block here, and also say the entertainment latest, recent comments section here is a block and entertainment latest is a view. So if we actually go to the coding to do with that, you'll see that on top right we've actually got recent comments. So I'll highlight that. So this is the div that creates that code. So all it's really saying is it gives it a title of events, and it says module invoke comment block view. So that's how you get the comment section. Now as far as the actual views are concerned, if we go to middle right as an example, which is the entertainment one, you can see that all the div is saying there is that the view is called midright. Now midright as a view is just created as a standard view, and the view is go off and find all the articles that are tagged with entertainment and then sort them in the most recent onwards. And that is all the coding that is actually needed to create those two blocks. And to show you once again how flexible it is, we'll go into one of the stories. We'll edit it. And then we'll save it, which will then make it the most recent one. And automatically now, if we go back to the home page, we will see that it's added the long, thin BlackBerry story as the front page story. It does that automatically. And as I say, the other thing we can now look at is if we go back to start this one here, which is the garland one. The great thing about this one, and I would be quite happy to make it available to people if it was a help, is that as it's based on garland, it uses the garland color theme setup. So if we go down and configure it, and if we then change it from, say, the standard blue to Mediterrano and save the configuration, if we then go back to the home page, we'll see that all the links have changed to the correct orangey colour, the background has, and the transparency is working well. So this is an example of how you can take a standard garland theme a stage further, and I hope that it encourages other people to actually do more and make Drupal's themes and visual side of it live up to the excellent coding that exists within it. Thank you.